Hello. Going on? What's cracking? Okay. Oh boy. That's great. Let's try this. Okay. Let's just do it, I think. A little too hot. A little too warm here on this thing. Alright. I think we're live here. Let some people roll up. What happened to my screen? Wait, did I want to turn chat on? Turn the subcat on. Oh, that's way small. Okay, that's our normal one. And then we want to turn alerts on. And then my main is. Yeah, that's fine. And then in my this one. Oh, there we go. All right, what's up? Let's turn this stream on too, I guess. All right, appreciate everybody being here. What's going on? We got some yogurt. Been munching on here while we code up this morning. A little morning sesh. Appreciate you guys being here. Welcome. So we are back in the Polymarket project here, Polyworld. Should be a fun one. Probably need to get my headphones, but I'll grab them in a second. Last time we left off, we are we really did some work on kind of refining some of this insert function and getting that polished up, understanding the model dump that we have here for this package, I believe, right? Oh no, it's for the it's the pydantic model dump method that comes with that. We learned about that last time, and then we made some queries, and so now we have this function to insert poly users, right? And we also implemented this on conflict, right? We update set the value except for the address, right? And it worked out pretty nicely. So yeah, like kind of been a few days since we were working on this project, so let's kind of jump back into it. Why did I switch from GPT to Claude? Honestly, it's better from what I've been messing around with. It's just better at like going at the pace I want, and not like in terms of tutoring, and not like just giving away things. Honestly, it's better at, I think, explaining things. It's just it's like going from just shooting a different professor. I don't know, kind of funny. Rate my professor is going to be now just GPT and Claude ratings. Rip. Okay. Appreciate everybody being here. Okay, so welcome in on this Sunday. Let me know if you're coding or what you're studying up to today. We had a couple gaming streams yesterday. It was pretty fun. We did some Fire Red. I got this Elgato. Picked this up from Best Buy so I could stream some Switch games for you guys, especially when I'm on the road here this month, transitioning to my new job until we get into our new place and everything. And so at least I could do is stream some games if I can't really get into programming. But I mean, I can always program from my lap, right? I'm just making excuses. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and jump back into where we were here. So we need to kind of get back in the flow of things. So we have our DB test script here, which has all of our fields, right? We create the table, right? If we go to this function here, if not exists, right? If it does exist, okay. So if it does exist, we just pass over. Okay, that's safe then. So the polyworld, we create our polyworld object. We have our address. Our timing, obviously, this little thing for how we would create. We insert the user, and then we close. And then we just did some, I think, lines to show that it was there. But what we need to do if we're going to actually get into this is we have to get our Docker going. We got that going in the background here. So if we go, we have to say the Docker startup D. Oh shoot! See, this is where my memory is because I have to reinforce this learning day after day, or else I forget stuff. Really start to forget things. I'm pretty forgetful. Okay, let's figure this out. Okay, let's go into our thing. Let's get some. Let's start up our session here. So say hello. I am back, ready to do a study session and study and coding session this Sunday morning. I am working on the Polyworld project again, where we are building a solid foundation in database knowledge, as well as actually implement, sorry, I'm spelling really bad here, the database by hand myself with your guidance and wisdom. The almighty orb will speak, and I will judge. Whatever. It has been a few days, so let's go ahead and begin with getting Docker running again. I've been playing a lot of Switch, so I am forgetful. All right, here we go. Compose app, dang, that's what it was. Shoot. Compose. I always do that. Compose. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now we should have our previous image or volume on there, right? With yeah, I think that's how it works. Okay, so here we go. We are up and good. Again, I will preface I am handwriting the code with bug checks from you to help me learn and get better. So keep your wisdom to more overarching steps and guidance. All right, let's go. I'm happy to hear it. Let's try to get this done. So quick recap of where we left off. How do I? Oh, I'm in like the chat thing. I can't like use the. I have to scroll here. Quick recap of where we left off. Polybase class. This connection cursor as you commit create table insert methods. User table created as in the Postgres successfully inserted your first row. Verified at today's goal. Now we can write data. Let's learn how to read it back out. That means writing a select method on Polybase. Before you write anything in plain English, what do you think the basic select query needs, at minimum, to fetch a user by their wallet address? So if we want a general select method that will kind of get anything from any table, we would need to allow for dynamic parameters or just many params to be fed in, like what table, what address, what, tertiary thing, etc. Maybe this more general select method isn't the best way of doing things. So more methods to singular scope the functions like that. This is right on both counts. A general select method would get messy fast. Too many parameters, too much complexity, try to handle every possible query. The best pattern is what you already did with the insert poly user. Specific methods scoped do exactly what they need. So instead of general select, you'd have something like these three functions here. Get user by address, get all users, get top users by P&L. Each one knows exactly what table, what columns, and what conditions it needs. Before we write anything, what will the SQL look like? For get user by address. Okay, so now that we kind of have that already kind of established here, let me go ahead and I kind of can get started here, I think. Okay, so in our polybase, is there a better practice than just a huge file of just methods attached to this class? Like inherit from another class to have those specific methods attached, or, that's probably what, that's the one thing that comes to mind is, okay, so maybe you have like a base class, polybase, right? And then you inherit from polybase, which has all these connections and commits. And then you have more general things like insert polyuser within some sort of inheritance of that. But that can get annoying pretty fast if it's not like super needed. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Hey, what's going on, Render? Okay, so let's go ahead and, how old am I at? 27. Kind of crazy. It doesn't feel like that. I don't feel like that. Okay, so let's define a function here called, um, get all users would probably be the easiest one to do for now. And that can just take in self here. I'm kind of getting annoyed with typing on my lap. Get all users. So what we need to do here is we need to create a query, which is currently, we just have connection. Okay, so we just need to get connection then. Right? That's what's nice about kind of getting all these functions established is we can kind of, and then we just need to get a cursor off of this connection. Right? And then we can just we have a connection established, and now this is like a precautionary. So let me know how you guys feel about the design of this. I don't know, I'm trying to just learn. But the connection, we'll try to get a connection if there isn't one, which typically, it'll close after. This allows for multiple cursors to be established on a connection if there's one already open on the class. But if it's none, it'll just, return back. Right? Because if it's none, it'll just, we already have the connection there, so we don't need to do anything. So we get cursor, and then what we can do, sorry, I'm moving kind of slow here, getting my brain warmed up, is we have a query. Right, I'm kind of using my previous function as like a template. What's going on, Tim? How's it going, man? It's good to hear from you. What you been up to? You've been watching NBA? Is it coming up on the playoffs? So we have a function here, a query, where we're going to need to write this. So select all from users, right? Now, I don't know if I could just do self.execute. Now, let me know if I'm doing something that could be dangerous. But we just have the query that goes into here. Right? And just like that. And that'll automatically close the connection. So if we try to run this then, so this will try to insert. Then what we'll do is at the end of this, we'll run polybase dot get all users here, and then this will so this executes this query. Now this doesn't do anything, so that we need to, this returns, what does it return? If you query for a select all from users, does that return a string or an object? That's what I'm trying to learn. That's what I need to try to figure it out. Okay. So let's kind of take this, let's get established here. So say, okay, so I jumped the gun and wrote this quick. And I am wondering what is returned here. select gives back some like maybe data frame object, but I'm not sure. Well, obviously I need, sorry. And then we have to execute cursor dot execute, sorry. No. Yeah. Oh, so that we're inserting data. We're not retrieving. No, we're retrieving data. So does my cursor does not have an execute. My polybase has an execute. My cursor executes a query for the query table. And you commit on that connection and close the cursor. Returns a cursor but not storing it, so it's lost immediately. But to answer the question, select returns rows from the database in scicop G2. Specifically, the result sits on the cursor after execute. You fetch them with cursor.fetchAll, which returns a list of tuples. Each tuple is one row. The problem in your execute method isn't returning anything, it's just written to the query and commits. That works fine for insert, but for select you need to get the results back out. Think about how this needs to change. Returns rows from the database. Okay, so the cursor dot execute gets this, and then we have data here. So does data dot no, because we execute a query, but I don't think that that's what we want to do necessarily. Because that makes like a commitment. So if we say cursor dot fetch all here for a list of tuple, which is the query? No, the select, that's just our query. Let me think about this. You fetch them from cursor.fetchAll, which returns a list of tuples. Each tuple is one row. How would you get recursive results back to the caller? So we save the cursor here. We obviously have to do a query and then get data out. Am I being dumb? So you have cursor dot fetch all, and this takes in a list. Does this have any like sort of definition here? No. Okay. Is a method used commonly like libraries is equal length. It retrieves all remaining rows from the last executed SQL query. Okay, so this just retrieves stuff on the cursor. So the cursor is like, I guess like maybe a phone that's receiving texts or something. And I don't know what kind of analogy you could make on this, but so you say we have a cursor here in a query. Then you say cursor.execute the query. And then we would say cursor.fetch all. And then this would give you a bunch of data back, right? Which would be in the form of users. And then do we just return a list of a tuple of users? So let me go ahead and print just users here and see what happens when I run just our test script for this. So let's do Python -m db_test script. Is it going? Yeah. Okay, so then we get a list which has a tuple for just all of the values. In order. Oh, so it's not like an object here. Really? So this just gives you back. So I'm wondering, is there a way we can get back an object, like a JSON object, so we know what key values correspond to what indexes? You know? What's up, Tyler? We currently have the ability, we've kind of been working on this for the past few weeks, kind of designing up a pretty, hopefully organized code base here. I don't know. I'm trying my best to do something a little bit more organized than I've done in the past. A little bit more kind of, I don't know, scalable, I guess, for lack of a better term. For like computing just data statistics, kind of more advanced statistics and things like that for Polymarket users on a given, search. And then we can store these in a database for a given day, and then I think track over time, like trends and stuff, and that's pretty valuable data, I think. I don't know. People might be willing to fork over a few George Washingtons for that. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's just for fun, I guess, at the end of the day. Kind of get some learning and stream it up here for you guys. Okay. So we get a list of a tuple. Interesting. Okay, I got it working. And got a list of a tuples back. The interesting, let's go here. Let me show you guys. See, this is what I'm looking at. I'm just getting pretty basic, like tutoring, like you would from like a code, like a, someone that isn't trying to give you answers. The interesting thing I am noticing is that, is there a way to use voice like I could on GPT. I don't know. On the app, I think I can, which is nice, but I don't think you guys can see that. See, I'm on free plan here. I'm not doing anything fancy, y'all. Noticing that it's not a JSON object where the values are mapped to keywords being the columns in the database table. Users. That is kind of annoying. No? Would we blindly want to trust maybe changing indexes on a table? Exactly right. Raw tuples are fragile. Have you ever had a column, or if you ever add a column or reorder them, index 0 might not be the address anymore. There's silent bugs everywhere. Scikit-Sheep has a solution for this. A special cursor called the real dict cursor. Real dict cursor. The real dict cursor is getting up in here, huh? Pause. We got small dict cursor, and we got a real dict cursor. That returns rows as dictionaries instead of tuples. Your import would look like this. Okay. So let's go back to our polybase here. Let's import from scikit. Is it, how do I say that? Is it Psycho PG2? Is that what it's supposed to be, or is it Psychop-G? I don't know. These names are crazy. I'm no better. Polyworld, who would I think I am? Extras. We're going to import real dict cursor. So we can execute So we have a get cursor here, which is if cursor. So we'll put here, we'll say, we'll add a parameter, a Boolean parameter called dict cursor. And we'll set this equal to false. And then we'll say, if dict cursor, right, we're going to return self.con. Wait, we have to establish a cursor on this connection. So how does that work? And pass it when creating the extra cursor. Oh, cursor factory, and you pass it to that as a parameter. Oh, that's cool. Okay, that's really easy. So if dict cursor here, we can just return self. Well, we probably don't even really need to. It'd probably be cleaner just to do this. So if return self.con.cursor, and we'll put in here cursor factory equals 2, and then we have the real dict cursor here. And then do we call that as an object, or just pass that as like a reference or a function or something? Just like that. Okay, yeah, just like that. Now each row comes back as a dictionary. So then let's go back to our test script here. And we can get all users here. And actually, so hold on, we need to go back to our get all users here. and we need to execute this cursor with dict cursor equals to true, and that will hopefully do what we want. So let's try this one more time. Oh, polybase get cursor is missing one connection. Oh, that's probably in the actual oh, so let's just default this to none. Right, so if we default if cursor, I think that'll be fine. Is that fine? Oh, the dishwasher's done. Sorry, y'all. Real dict row address. Nice. Let's go. Perfect. That was exactly what I needed. Boom. That was perfect. I am now getting a real dict row. Dishwasher's done. All right, sorry guys, hold up. Let the people stop. Oh, dropping yogurt. Okay, so this is what I'll do. I'll take this. I'll say, okay, cool. Added that in and made it optional for get cursor to return a real dict The optional dict cursor pattern is a really good design decision. One small syntax issue. Wrong. This is setting a default value to false. Everything else looks solid. I want it to be. Oh, well, yeah, that is bad. That is wrong. So we have. It's sorry. That is a typo. So this is a Boolean. Sorry. Which is equal to false. Or, can I say or none? Is that valid? I am wanting to, come on, stop going. That gets stuck. To keep the cursor as, cursor params as optional none, so I don't have to feed these bools into the cursor call for many cursors if that happens. I get what you're going for, but false none is not type annotation. That means value can be false or none. I don't express what you mean. Equals false default already makes it optional. If you don't pass anything, it defaults to false and returns regular cursor. You only pass true when explicitly want to dict cursor. Does that make sense? Okay, so it kind of already does that for you in that sense with the false, because Boolean is kind of there, true or false, or well, that is, or none or true, which is kind of a similar approach. You have none or you have some. So it's kind of a, yeah. Okay. But none is something itself, like it is like its own thing, like none, like it's. I don't think none and false equal. Does none equal false? Like that? Does that return true? I wonder. That's kind of a Python quirk. Probably not. I don't think that's off the top of my head. What do you think? What do you think, chat? So we've run this. Let me check my stream on the phone. I haven't looked at that since I started this. Oh, it's not live. That's why. Seriously? That's so troll. No way.
Hey everyone.
No way. Really? Well, now I'll know. At least now it's a learning lesson. I know that for next time. Make sure that the vertical goes live. Hey, Oren. How's it going? We're using Postgres. Psycop G2. What? Oh my gosh. This is not working. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. No, the vertical is not showing up here. That's a bummer. What's going on now? Why is it always giving me problems? Come on. This is so frustrating why it does this. I don't know why it does this. I just started trying to do the vertical streams as well, and it hasn't really been working out that well for me. Come on. Where is the This is so dumb. Why this doesn't work? Um, This is a bummer. Sorry, you guys. Doesn't really matter. I mean, we're still streaming on this thing, so. Oh, that's what I should do then. How was it? I'm streaming right now. What's going on?
I found your Mountain Dew.
I was outside?
Yeah.
All right,
It's Mountain Dew.
Moon. Oh,
Let it sit in the moon all
that's pretty funny.
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Where is my stream? Why isn't it working? Let's try that. Hello. Oh no, you're gonna. All these programmers saw a girl, they're gonna freak out. Girl! No. There we go, it's live now. Okay, I don't know what was going on. No. The dishwasher's done if you want to see if it's if it worked. Hopefully it did. Okay, we got it working. Okay, there we go. Nice. Got that working now. The thing is it doesn't like the settings of I think it looks really bad. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, these are clean. They're just like that.
Okay, so let me see you gotta change that thumb. I'll do whatever, it's fine. Yeah, this tree looks really bad. The bitrate is lower. Recommend a bitrate of 1600. Where's my OBS? There it is. Settings. Yeah, Ren, we got a shiny Squirtle on stream. We hit on 54 resets, 1 out of 8,000 chance. We hit a shiny Squirtle. Pretty sweet. This is pretty cool. Okay, I think that might fix it. Hopefully. I think that might fix it. Hopefully. It's not looking that good. It's pretty bad. Shiny Squirtle, man. You can go back and watch the stream. Go back in my VODs and watch us pull Shiny Squirtle. It was pretty. I have a short of it too. So yeah, this is my. That looks really terrible. Retro, does this look terrible for you on the YouTube on the app? I'm just trying to. I just started doing. I just started doing vertical, and I've been struggling. Suck. I suck. Sorry. Let me see if I can figure this out. Let me do 8,000 for that one. I think I wanted 6,800. Oh boy, it's not looking too good. I think the internet's too slow. I think the internet might be my internet. I was staying at my girlfriend's mom's house while oh, there we go. We're chill. Oh, we're chill. Let's go. Nice. Oh, we're chill. Let's go. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry, you guys. Oh, I just do in vertical and horizontal stream. I have both of them going, multi-stream, trying to expand my reach. Okay. So, where did we leave off? We got successful dict read row. Okay, so that was good. I like that. Okay, cool. Is it typical practice to keep it in that psychop G2 object? Good question. Depends on what layer you're in. At the database layer, like Polybase, returning psychop object or dict is fine. That's its job. Talk to the database, return data. But at the server layer, where you're building users and doing business logic, you typically want proper polyuser model objects, not raw dicts. Bro, pause, bro. What is this? Claude's chill. The typed objects give you autocomplete validation and catch mistakes early. So the typical pattern would be database layer, which returns raw dicts. Okay, dude, you're 27 years old. Come on. You get a service layer, which converts dicts back into the polyuser model objects. Okay. It just works. Think about what conversion should happen inside get all users itself. Should the caller handle it? Since your real dict user returns column names as keys and your model fields, so could we not just the thing is, it returns back like decimal and stuff, which is interesting. So we're gonna have to handle those one way or another as well. Yeah, so this is what we've been building. For those that aren't here, we have Polywhirl, which is just this kind of base class here. We have some asynchronous functions going on. to ping a couple of API points on from Polymarket, which is a pretty much just a gambling site, legalized gambling loopholes in the United States and in certain places, to bet on life events. And we'll see how long this lasts for. What administration will put an end to this. We'll see. But so far, it's gained a lot of popularity and traction. And so who knows? Anywho, but I'm not really keen on doing that type of, investing myself. Much more stock market driven and motivated in terms of those types of things, financial mediums or whatnot. But I think it'd be interesting to, there are lots of people that do like to do this stuff, and kudos to them. And why not sell the shovel so people can dig holes? Or why not get some data and get some practice and then let people do with the data what they want, right? It's free country. You can do it, I guess, somewhat. So that was kind of my thinking on this. So what we have so far is we have a user. You can search up any address, a list of addresses to build users. So we have a user here with an address and date join. His current balance of 15,500. This is his URL, right? He's got these amount of trades, these amount of closed positions. Remember, you can make many positions within a trade. You can take the yes or the no. And you can also open up more positions on a yes. Right. I think that's what that means. I think but it might just be the yes or no. So the resolved wins is basically like future ball, crystal ball ability. Like, are you able to predict the future? And he has a pretty bad crystal ball rate of 21%. Some of his predictions he's made, he might be out of them, but there's 158 that are still going. Trading, though, this is where he gets in and out of positions, whether it be resolved or just, this is actually like realized gain or loss. So he has 704 positions, trading wins with 820 losses, right? Giving just about shy of a 50% win rate on his trading. He's realized about $63,000 of profits and $38,000 of losses, resulting in about 25 racks of realized closed P&L. He has a trading profit factor of 1.16. For every dollar he risks, he gains back 167. Sorry. His average realized trading win is 90, while his average trading loss is about half, about 45, 46. About half. His closed realized risk to reward is 1.95. His average close realized P&L is 16.76. Average close, all these kind of statistics. And his expected value per trade is about $16, which is pretty good. So, we can try to find maybe vet traders that have, I was thinking what we could do is run a nightly script or a daily script at a certain time. Probably just like at 3 a.m. or something like that, 5 a.m. And it would go over the current 100 or the current top traders on the Polymarket dashboard and get the statistics, and we could track them for a certain amount of time and just keep a bunch of data on them, which would be pretty cool. And then, data is pretty valuable in this day and age. I think a lot of people underestimate how much people are willing to maybe pay for data, especially good quality data. And I'm not sure, maybe this is bad, maybe it's not. But if you're knowing where people are putting their money, and maybe people that are smarter than me can figure out ways to combat it or join along or whatever, I don't know. But I don't think I'm quite that smart. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, I think, to where I could extract out a little bit of the statistics and compute some stuff, but making like the models and stuff and coming up with that stuff, that's a little bit more tricky. So I don't know. But yeah, so now what we're doing is we're trying to package this data into a database and preserve it, so then we can write our overall script to get those traders and loop, extract out this information, compute it for each one of them, and start doing the tracking for every day or twice a day for X amount of time that the person is on the watch list. If they appear on the leaderboard, we'll probably track them for the next 30 or 50 days. They'll be included, and then traders will obviously fall in and out of that set of nightly queues that we have or whatever. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Let me know what you guys think about that. If you guys have any opinions, I think it'd be kind of cool to hear what you guys have to say about that. And you guys have any ideas about what we could do with it or where we could go? If you guys are liking the stream, if you could give it a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Okay. So we have our get all users now, which returns all of our users, which is nice. Now we have this fetch all, which is a users. Now can we do this and run this one more time and just get it back in dictionary form rather than having it unpacked? Oh, we didn't run this. Hey, what's up, Tracy?
Hey!
I'm on stream right now. No, you're okay. You don't have to be quiet. But yeah, you can take her for a while.
Where's her car?
We have to go pick it up. She left it last night. Well, I went to go get her.
I went there. Okay, I just came here for one. Then I'm going to church. An hour to kill.
This object is after. Did you mean? It's okay. It's okay. People live their life.
Shut up, Gina.
I'm the one that's doing it in the middle of the kitchen, so this is a list of of those objects. Okay, got you. So we're gonna say this will get all users and return back. Do we want to really loop over them again? I mean, can you access? What if you go like this? Can you do print users index 0, right, which will access the first one, and if we say losing my train of thought here. If you're making Pokemon clips like when you got your shiny 100. Okay, so it's returning back a list of dictionaries, which is cool. So the thing is do we want to keep it in this object here or loop over the list? Is it really that necessary and unpack it out? I'm trying to think. I don't really think so, but what do you guys think? Jimmy, you could rent H100s for $5 now and then run LTX to make crazy animations like that. What?
You ready? Don't go flying out of there, okay? Take your time.
I hear about my shiny squirrel clothes. That's funny. Okay, I'm trying to think. What do we want to do here with this? So it returns back a list of users, and do we want them to be in this object here or in that? Because this, since your real date cursor returns column and names keys in your real model, and your model fields matches when exactly it just works. What's going on? Hold on. What's going on? People are in here freaking, I can't really focus. I think it's fine. Okay. Sorry, my dog's like whining and stuff because there's a bunch of traffic coming in and out right now. Hey. I think it's fine. It's okay. Alright, so what is next? We have this returning a list of two. So that matches. That'll unpack into our pedantic model. Just return all the users as a list. Okay. Guess that's fine. A list of real dict rows. Right. So that'll return a list of real dict rows. Get a connection, fetch all. Now, if we just, I think it's okay. I don't know. I can't decide. I'm being really annoying. I'm being torn. Do we want to keep it in this object, or just extract it out? But we'd have to do a loop over all of the values in the list. And what if there's a ton of users that we want to get out of the database? Probably wouldn't be the best approach. Whatever. Okay, so then if we just return users here, and then that means in our test script we have get all users here as users. Then we'd have to obviously print users here to get the same output. Okay, so then now we have get all users.
You ready?
So then I guess we have another function that would be just get user. Should be self. And returns just I guess we can do just a dictionary. It's fine. I mean, we're not being super consistent, so that's why I'm kind of being torn. So if we get connection here, we have a cursor. Oh. So the cursor on, we'll say the dict cursor is equal to true. And then we have a query here, which is equal to f string here. So we select. So we have to obviously give an address here, which is a string. And just select. And then do you insert? Yes, you do. So you go like that, and you do address. We don't want to potentially do that directly, no. We would want to make sure that this is like, yeah, I got a two going. Mario, how's it going? Where can I join and talk to you? I need some guidance. What the heck? I'm trying to, I have a Discord. If you want, it's down below. It's got a roadmap of all my learning journey. You can chat with me in there. I guess I don't really take calls or anything like that, but I do chat in there with people all the time. So we're gonna select. So I don't. Do we want to put address in here like this, or what about the placeholders? Oh, I think it's fine. And the values are placeholders. And these are the conflicts you join together, the excluded column. So if there's a conflict on the address, you do update set, you join together, and you say that the column is equal to now the updated value except for the address. Right. It's in the description. So if we say select address from users, and we say what? If, now what happens if that is not there, right? If not exists, so select, is it if it exists here? Address from users? Is that the right query? Your mom, she was mad at Sky, I think, because she went, the leash, I think, caught one of her pots and tipped it over and broke it.
Oh, I don't think my mom was mad at Sky. She would never be mad.
And she was swearing at stuff. She was mad.
Michael. This is my special.
I dropped some yogurt. I know, I need it.
No, it's just you're disregard for like wanting to clean it up.
I'm going to.
And then you left the window open again after I've asked you multiple times.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Please
didn't
open
mean to leave that window open. That's my bad.
Every time.
Okay, so we have selective exists from users. And then we would want to do the cursor to execute the query. And then we would want the user is going to equal to the cursor dot fetch all. It should just be one, right? And then maybe we can return just the user here. That'll give us just the single, but we want to return the user index 0, like that, because the fetch all returns a list. So then if we go here, comments out this guy here, and then do user is equal to the pv dot get user, print the user, and then if we run, should just get back dictionary form of the single user with all their params. Dang it. Address. Oh, I need the address. This would be the test address. select if exists this. So does it have to be a string? Create table on name, which is a string. So this is giving me an error here for syntax error at or near this. So I have a syntax error at here. Is it a... Hey, what's going on? Welcome, Naruto. I appreciate you for joining me. Should we, for those that are wondering, that's the Squirtle. Should we evolve the Shiny Squirtle into Blastoise, or should we keep it Shiny Squirtle? Appreciate you guys being here. You want to go to Nugget get lunch later?
No, we have corned beef in the fridge.
Okay. Okay, so I'm having this syntax error. Select if address. I'm gonna get rid of the if exists and see if that has something to do with it. Oh, it did. So we got back an empty dictionary. So that address did not exist. In the database. It should, though. Well, just for a second, keep that like that. Well, maybe I'm doing this wrong. This is select all from users. Oh, so we need to select address. So I think we say select. Is it like this? And then do you insert a value? Let's ask. We've done a lot of thinking here. So let's say for selecting a single user, I am curious on do we insert using placeholders on the column insert or the actual value? Get user, but the SQL needs work. A few things. The SQL syntax is wrong. Select with a where clause looks like this. Select star from users. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. So the select all, this happens like all, this is columns, right? So this is select all from users, like all the data from users, where address, and then do you say is equal to? Yeah, address is just equal to, and then you insert a %s here. Right? So using placeholders for the address value, same reason as insert. Never put values directly into the string. Fetch one instead of fetch all. You're fetching one row. Use fetch one. Use the right fetch method. Okay, so you could specifically just fetch one. And then just return that back. So then how do you insert into this %s? So then you insert into the %s. Pass values as tuples. So execute method has that. The cursor does it automatically, that's right.
Sky broke a pump.
Yes, I thought. The values. So cursor.execute that. Huh. I'm trying to... cursor.execute. Vars. So you just do address like this. So there's no key. So it's just actually a dictionary back rather than a list. This returns a dictionary. There it is. Nice. Okay, we got it. So you select all data from users where the address is equal to this placeholder. And in the execute, in the order of the placeholders, I guess the execute will execute this statement and fill in these values into here. Now what happens if this doesn't exist? Like let's make this test script, let's add a value like just 9 at the end and then run this and see what happens. None. Okay. So this just returns back none. So fetch all, we'll say if users, okay, we'll just actually say return users if users, else none here. And then we can add an an else here for on none just for the typing here. So this will return users or none. Is it good practice to do this multiple return type? Let's ask. Is it good practice to do optional none returns on no users in either case? Yes, returning none when nothing is found is good practice. It forces the caller to handle the not found case explicitly rather than getting an empty list or dict and wondering if something went wrong. And we gotta close the method as well. Oh, we have to close the cursor. So we need to cursor dot close. No, so we have to do self dot close cursor on the cursor here. Then we also have to do this here. And then that is right? That's all we need to do. Cursor dot close. Cursor dot close, or is it my close cursor on my? It does have a close method. Oh. Oh, so I don't even really need this. You can close the cursor just by calling close on it. Okay, so that's fine. We can get rid of that then. And then just do cursor dot close there. Cursor dot close here. Close connection on the cursor. This doesn't take in anything. That's a bug. Right, so then we have self dot. Here we have just cursor dot close. This is just cursor dot close. Right. So we close cursor here, close cursor here, close cursor here. This just executes, which causes a close on the cursor. Close connection of the connection closes connection if there is one. Okay, I think that's good. So we run still. Are we okay? Yeah, we're still getting none there for that user. So let's go back to our test script and delete that bad 9 at the end, and then run. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, so now we're getting at our user still, which is good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed those edits that we made just to make sure we don't have any bugs. I realized that the self.close cursor was redundant. Is that how you spell that? because you can close the cursor by just calling close on itself. The close is just a method of the cursor object itself, no need for a wrapper on the poly base. Code looks solid when is the where address it still has the parentheses. Okay, whoops. So we still need to fix that. So there's no parentheses on this single column there. Okay. That should still work. We'll say add get all users and get user. We'll say clean cursor. We'll say remove cursor polybase dot close cursor. There we go. Nice. That works. Oh, whoops. All right, so that's still running, which is good. So now what we have here is the ability to save information to the database and then get it back out, which is some simple function adds onto this class. So the way we got it kind of structured is really nice because all we have to do is just add a simple get function to this class. And then we have the ability to access, just we need to make sure the query's right, and then it's pretty simple from there. Now, the thing that's kind of interesting here is these functions are pretty similar, so, you know, I'm wondering if we could like clean them up and make them more dynamic rather than having a bunch of get functions, but it might just be what it is. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? We've got a lot of people here. I appreciate you guys joining me. You guys are awesome. This is fun. Welcome in. If you guys are the first time here, if you are new, my name is Michael. I'm 27 years old. I've got a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry. I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company. I graduated back in the end of 2021 and got a job in the beginning of 2022 when the job market was still healthy, relative. And I've been working as a chemist, for 4 years now. I'm kind of a scientist too. I've been teaching myself how to code through Python and C, and a little bit of JavaScript and front end, back end, whatever. For the past year and a half, almost 2 years now, which is pretty crazy. I've come a long way in the 2 years. Definitely have a long ways to go. It's definitely that lie. A lot of those people that come on YouTube and tell you that they learned a lot of this stuff in 3 months, and I've really questioned their abilities because we've been grinding for 2 years here consistently, and I feel like we're just scratching the surface. This is such a wide and broad topic of information, and who knows? So appreciate you guys being here. We've been teaching ourselves through mediums like CS50, CS50 Python X, Fluent Python, like the books like Fluent Python, Teach Programming a Modern Approach, Data Structures and Algorithms in Python, Introduction to Algorithms. We are in the middle of a lot of those books right now. Chipping away at them little by little, writing projects live on stream like SpectroSim, ChromaPlot. We've done, personal websites. We've done a bunch of Python scripting, whether it be depop, item parsing, and reformatting to display on personal websites. We've done stock market scripting and charting in stock market statistics and price to volume ratios, all of those jazz. Volume over time, relative volume over time, rolling volumes. We've done a lot of that stuff. We've been doing MIT courses live on stream. So if you guys are new here, this is a pretty cool place. I'm in a little bit of a different setup than normal. I'm transitioning actually jobs. I'm transferring to a different site within the same company. I got a job. I'm going from a chemist as my official title to um, microbiologist, so more in line with my actual my major rather than my minor. Um, so I'm going to be doing a microbiology and instrumentation work for a clinical lab within my current company in a different city, and so I'm kind of transitioning there just in this like 1 month limbo period, and finishing up some projects. So I'm currently in a different setup than normal than what you guys are used to back in my apartment, but it'll be like this for a little while, and then also in the Airbnbs that I'm staying in as I'm going from city to city during the week. Um, and then, yeah, and then we have we'll be in a different setup in the summertime though, because I have a house being built right now, and it'll be done in June, and so that'll be really exciting for the stream. Is we'll have a really nice new space, office space and garage to do things like 3D print, do like more hardware stuff, get into like servers, maybe have our own server rack, like in our garage and in like our room and everything, like do, automated, I think automated like plant, like things would be really cool, like gardening. I think, a lot of stuff coming. I'll have a lot more space to really expand my wings and actually be solid in a place that's my own. So big stuff coming. I appreciate you guys being here. Welcome, welcome. A lot of hard work going, and I've been grinding away here. And it's been cool because we actually were able to implement and write a custom proprietary software tool for our chemical company, my group, my formulations group. There's this current mathematical process that we do that I came in and learned and was trained on, that they've been doing for years throughout when the company was acquired by the larger company that it now is. And I revamped the entire process and converted it into software and code through Python, and has a full GUI and interactive through Tkinter, and it's completely solves, eliminates, automates the chemical calculations and formulations for that specific matrix product. And it really saves a lot of time and money, and so that's what's really kind of helped me be able to grow fast in the company too, is those types of things, and implementing what we've been learning here into our job, and really being like kind of steadfast and trying to find ways to squeeze this in. And so we use that to kind of leverage it to our this new position, and hopefully we'll keep moving on, and it'll be kind of cool. Who knows? Welcome in, everybody. Sorry, that's enough of my ramble. I appreciate everybody that's new here. If you're new and want to join, I stream almost every single day, me programming or playing games when I'm relaxing and chilling. I just got an Elgato, so I've been streaming some of my Pokemon games and stuff. We're going to play Zelda and maybe Luigi's Mansion on stream. It'll be kind of fun. All right, we'll stream for a couple more minutes here. We've been going for an hour and 40 minutes. Wow. My internet's pretty spotty here. Again, I'm sorry. I might not do the multi-streams while the internet is in my, this location is just not the best internet. So I apologize for the kind of drops in frames and stuff. Let me ask my lady friend if she could just use the cellular. All right. Okay, sorry. Let me know if it's bad. Okay, so we now have a get user and get all users here, which is good. What other things do we need? Now, we don't really want to get, like, what comes next? Like, what comes next here? This is why I'm kind of using Claude, is because I don't really know on, like, large scalable projects, like, what else is needed. And I'm trying to learn, like, what it takes to have all of your bases covered, is what I'm trying to, I can make, like, scientific scripts and, stock market scripts, like, whatever, but when all the grand scheme of everything comes together, that's when my brain goes to mush. So, okay. Sweet. We got that covered. I am ready to move on to whatever is next. I am not sure where to really go from here. What would be a good direction to turn or continue. Real. I had a good time. Good place to pause and think about the bigger picture here. You have a solid foundation. The pipeline fetches and computes user stats. The database saves and retrieves users. The next natural directions are configuration. Your database credentials are hard-coded into Polybase. In real projects, these live in environment variables, but important habits to learn. Simple but important habits to learn. So, database credentials. So right now, the database credentials are just into here. So we would probably want to have environment variables within our env folder that would house this information. Okay. Fair point. 2, multiple users. Right now you test with one address. Your pipeline supports multiple. How does the prod database layer handle bulk inserts efficiently? Let's think about that. So this just inserts a single poly user, right? And it's going to be sequential. It has to call this and do that. So maybe instead of doing insert poly user, can you have a more advanced query where you insert into users, boom, insert into users, join the columns, on the conflict of address, do update set. So that will just, if there's already a user, just update everything else except for the address that's there. So we don't really want to update. We can say if column not is if column not in, and then we can use just a tuple here and say address quote date. Let's grab our poly user model here and drag this over to the side. Yeah, date, what is it? Oh, it just joined. So we don't need to update the joined. The username might change, the address doesn't change, the joined doesn't change, the balance does change, the URL might change, and the retrieve. So just those two. So that'll kind of, I mean, it's not a super big update, but whatever. Okay, let's have a conversation here. So for number 1, config. So we would want to store the information, first being the local info connections creds, to the .venv file and use env packet or package to get this out, or number 2, not .venv. That's your virtual environment folder. You want a .env file at the root of your project. Okay. So let's just do a quick little add here. We can commit here and say all we did was just add quote join to insert poly user exclusion. Okay, that handles that. So then we can create a .env file An environment file is configured, but terminal environment injection is disabled. Enable python.terminal.use env to use environment recipe files and terminals. Interesting. So python -.env os.env, how you access them in your code. Okay. So you create an env file as your root project and you install python.env. What is it? Sorry. Pip install python-.env. Okay. Okay, that handles that. Load and use the values in polybase. Okay, so then what we can do is we have polybase here, and we can take this I'm going to take this. Oh, here's the password. Okay, so we just take our password and username. We'll say, we'll just call this database creds equals to a dictionary. We'll say username equals to is this like a, what is this file? Can you use Python dictionaries in a .env? Do you use Python dicts in a .env file? No. Oh, it's just So actually it would just be this. Like oh, so you have host, all this stuff here. Okay, so it'd be all this stuff here. So you have host, port, or like db host, db port, local, db name, local, but there's no strings. Okay, so it'd be like this, db user local, db pass local. That. Okay, so you have these variables. No commas needed. Okay, so then in my polybase script here, we're going to do from or say import dot env and then you have to import OS, I guess, right? So then this would be what do you do here? You do operating system. So maybe we don't save username and password here. Maybe we do here os dot get env on the key of quote db host local db user local, something like that, and then db name and this would be like this. This would be host. This would be port. This would be name, user, pass. So now if you run this, so then you have this now. Add a git ignore. Secret should never be committed to git. Did you add the .env file you could ignore? Just git ignore. Yeah, I did. Environment sequence. It's there. We're just using a database service and trying to figure out how to use it though. So we add it to the git ignore. Secret should never be committed to git. After you need to load the env. So I have to load .env first. So get env and .env. But you do this to you would do that in your code before it runs git connection as I recall. Or what do you call? Add it to your git ignore. So you need to actually load the .env file. os.getenv won't find your values until you call this. So on instantiation of this class, then I guess. Would you load it on init or within the connection? Would you place the load into the init so it is present throughout the life, or just local in that get connection? Good question. It's the right way to think about it. The .env, load.env only needs to run once. If you put it in the git connection, it runs every time. Okay, so then here we would have to say .env.load.venv here, like that, right? That's the line we're looking for. Yeah, so that'll load the environment variables. I've never done this before. Okay, cool, now it works. Nice. Okay, so now we're getting all that data appropriately, and we have our environment variables extracted out into this env here that we can change, and it'll be hidden now. Cool. So now let's go ahead and I guess add that up. For database credits. All right, nice. Okay, cool. That is that. Now, the next task we want to maybe tackle here, or maybe we're coming up on 2 hours here. That might be it for today. We got quite a bit of people in here. We had like 20 people in here this whole time, which is really awesome. So I'm really happy that a lot of people are enjoying the database streams. It seems like that's what a lot of people are interested in, is kind of using, Claude and these other tools to help aid in our handwritten code here. So I really appreciate you guys giving the positive feedback and staying with me today. So happy Sunday to you, and thanks for being here. Today was very successful. What we did was it was a little bit slower. We didn't quite get as much implemented as we did in other streams, but we just kind of did a lot more polishing up. We got rid of that cursor function because it automatically has that closing ability. We then cleaned up the other functions that incorporated that. We added these getters for actually getting information out, and kind of got some practice with the select method here and what it requires. And then we learned about .env, which is pretty cool, that your operating system can just detect this file locally to get the credentials out like this, rather than having them be hard-coded in there, which is pretty cool. And then we also learned about this extras the dict reader and the real dict cursor for the that are used in Psycop G2 or whatever, Psycop 2G, G2, for returning back actually kind of mapped key value pairs object rather than just a tuple for queries to our database. So that was pretty cool as well. I appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with me for today. This was super fun. Let me see, how did we do on the vertical stream today? It's my first time ever doing a vertical coding stream. So we got a few people in here. Today. It's my first time ever doing it. Nice. Thanks so much for everybody being here. A lot of awesome. We had some people on the that were on the actual the vertical one, so that's cool that we were able to get that working today. I'll try to maybe make the vertical one a little bit more pretty or something. Maybe add like a section in the bottom. Maybe have the terminal be down there rather than up on, I don't know, something. Or maybe we'll have that'll be where we have, if we do like web dev stuff, we'll have the front end be down there so we can see it rather than, that'd be probably what we do. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. This was a fun one. Happy Sunday. I'll be back maybe later this afternoon or evening to maybe play some more Fire Red. Maybe we'll start a new game like either Zelda Wind Waker or Tears of the Kingdom. I have those ones to play as well as Luigi's Mansion. So thanks so much for being here. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow in the next one.